Hello again, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel. Let me just say up front right now that this is a very sad day here on the Prince Magnum channel and here at the Prince Magnum home. We had a child born a couple days ago as I'm making this video, and basically we were harassed by family services here in Missouri. Let me give you a little backstory on this before we go any deeper. I was wrongfully accused of child abuse while living in Franklin County in Washington, Missouri. That's why my wife and I don't live there anymore, part of. And then they decided that because it's Franklin County here in Missouri, to basically drag us over the coals again over my daughter, over my youngest daughter. Well, we moved here to St. Francis County thinking that we had gotten away from this evil here in Missouri, got away from a corrupt system to find yet another corrupt system. This is heartbreaking. We moved here to get away from this. And unfortunately, it seems to have found us again. We had a new baby boy born, and in some of the videos you see my very pregnant wife doing some awesome things and things like that. And family services harassed my wife while in the hospital recuperating, and they came to my apartment and harassed me. The caseworker was very rude. Unfortunately, you guys didn't get to see how hateful this woman was. Truly hateful, because she cussed at me, and one part you actually hear her cuss at me in the video that I will be showing you. And basically she drugged me over the coals. This is a case of double jeopardy, which is a direct violation of the Fifth Amendment in our Constitution, in our Bill of Rights. But this is Missouri, and communism reigns supreme here in Missouri. Let me just say up front that the video that you're about to see, you will see me break down. I will do my best to protect police officers and the kind officers who came to assist in this case. They were very polite, and it was Bonne Terre. And I'll fill you in more after some of the video. I'm not going to go through the whole clip, but we're going to go through a good portion of it, and you guys will get to see how this caseworker treated me, and basically there's discrimination involved. It's double jeopardy. They decided to keep my son in the system just because of a few bad bumps that some parents just go through. It was downright hateful. And just for the record, before the camera was even turned on, I did have permission to turn it on. So if this wench of a woman decides to try to say otherwise, she's full of it. Because there's actually, more police officers came in, and they're like, "You're on camera," and they're like, "Oh shoot, well cool, all right, whatever." And one of the police officers who even came was the police chief of Bonne Terre. And yes, he knows about my videos talking about Officer 309, but we'll get to him later. So let me show you all kind of some of the stuff that went on in the video, and how she thought it was perfectly okay to do this, and how the state of Missouri needs to be stopped. And that's where we're at with this. Please sit back and watch the horrors of the mistreatment of a person who hasn't done anything wrong, but yet they're gonna treat him poorly. And some of you out there will know exactly what I'm going through. Here's the clip, and that sort of thing.
No. Yeah. 1677. You were just coming out to play pool.
Yeah, we just assist.
Right.
And I work at 5:30. What type of situation?
No, it was 1 year.
I don't have
He drives around in
daycare.
309. And that's actually his badge number. He harassed me over my Maverick. basically told her,
Oh, there was.
oh, this was back in November. I just had the car home for like not even 4 days. Like,
He's no longer
You're
smart.
looking for somewhere
really?
to run.
He
I
didn't
actually
fire
called
you.
her
You have to
earlier
go
and she said I have to
take a better opportunity.
What the heck, guys?
And whatever they do has nothing to do with me.
Right. No, actually, no, I
I'm
basically,
a boss. They can do whatever they want.
but basically, yeah. Basically, all I did was stand up for him. It towed my car because it didn't have plates on it yet. So.
Okay, I think she may have some questions for you.
What's up?
So yeah, we got called because of your prior history, okay, and I went and talked to Miranda. There's a lot of things just not adding up with her story, so how did you guys meet?
We actually met, of all the things, playing World of Warcraft.
Online?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check this
And
because
take
of
her.
Taylor.
You know, and you know, she came out here and she was coming out to help me with my son.
Right there.
And you know, she came out to help me with my son, and that sort of thing. And it was a love at first sight, to be honest with you. And typically, I don't usually go for younger ladies. I prefer older women, but it didn't happen that way. We got together, and you know, things were going great. Then things went sideways with my son, and that sort of thing.
How long have you been sober?
Me, I just celebrated 10 years on the 7th.
10 years?
Yeah.
Hello.
Good Lord, guys.
Hi, how you doing?
Do you want me to start up a pot of coffee?
Some
I
donuts,
already had
maybe.
my share for the day.
Oh, okay.
We are being recorded.
That's okay.
She
Okay.
stated to me that you guys met at she was 16 and then she came here when she was 18.
Mm-hmm.
She had also stated that she met, you guys met talking about Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When did she start drinking?
She started about 21, and then shortly afterwards she got sober.
I agree with
So
you.
she's 23
Catch her,
now.
catch her.
Mhm. And she's coming up on 2 years herself.
And she's been sober for 2 years and started at 21. So how long did she drink before she went
Not
to
super
AA?
long. Not super long.
And that didn't affect your sobriety any?
Gotcha.
Her drinking?
Find your way.
No, sir, you are.
Honestly and truthfully, my sobriety, I know a lot of people have a hard time with that. Honestly and truthfully, when I can go into bars today, and when you start, and some people will ask the question, Dennis, is that temptation? I said, well, look around you. What do you see? And they'll say a bunch of drunk people. I said, that's not what I see. I see a bunch of 12 steps home. When I see people acting the way they do, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Currently, right now, I'm serving as our alternate DCM for Alcoholics Anonymous in this district, which encompasses 5 counties. You guys have actually gotten some wear and wins from me.
So, I mean, what possessed Miranda to start drinking for that short time, seeing what you've been through?
Why do any of us drink? Seeing what people go through.
Okay. So let's start with your son that you lost custody of. Were you under the influence of anything when you were shooting him with a BB gun? And I have read every single police report. I was up till 3 o'clock this morning reading every single report. So don't bullshit me.
Yep, you just heard that right. She started cussing at me. As you'll see, I kept my composure. I'll be honest with you, I wanted to start crying. Not because she hurt me, but because of the fact that I wanted to get up and rearrange her face. You just don't talk to people that way. But she thought it was perfectly okay to talk to someone like that. You make the state really proud, to have you employed. I wonder what Governor Jay Nixon would say right about now, hearing this. Oh, that's right, he doesn't do anything. But anyhow, we'll continue a little bit deeper in. And this caseworker, I will give her name towards the end of this video. And you'll see. You'll see. This is, it just keeps getting worse. Yes. It just keeps getting worse. I cannot believe that they would allow a woman like this in supposedly working for our state government.
Okay.
There's no need for that, please.
Okay.
I was working at Rawlings at that time, and I worked in the football helmet department. In that time frame, we started building the new S100 football helmets, and they were put together. Basically, the padding was glued inside the helmet, and what you had to do is you had to put this. Basically, it was an industrial super glue on it, and it was very potent stuff. And then you had to heat it with a heat gun. The way the table was located, my chair, everything, it basically blew the fumes up into my face. I kept asking for a respirator. They refused to give me one. And it was either do the work or I would lose my job. It's 3 weeks of my life I don't recall. So you're telling me what happened. My son tells me about it. I don't remember. At the end of the weekend, I was coming back out of it, because I didn't been putting in overtime, all that good stuff, trying to work out. Let me ask you this, why in the world would I go out of my way to get him away from his mother, who was in the life that she was in, and being a CNA, CMT for so many years and things like that, just to hurt people? I don't get sober to hurt people, let alone my son.
Well, regardless of what happened, okay, you are a convicted felon. Do you see a PO for injuries or?
Well, I'm on the kind of, I'm supervised, but as long as I keep my nose clean, they don't say nothing. I just put in a report every now and then. I don't get into trouble. This sometimes seems to find me.
Well, then, that was 2012 when this happened, okay? In 2013, you guys have a little baby girl and was almost 6 months old and basically about starved to death and was taken away because you guys did not feed her.
That is not what happened. Miranda was breastfeeding, and we were this was one of those moments I was still dealing with the effects of what had happened to me from that.
In this next part, you'll actually get to see this woman basically attack my wife for breastfeeding and then having difficulties getting in to see a doctor up in Franklin County Mercy Hospitals. Yes, they did such an amazing job up there. By the way, the state has never investigated this. They've never investigated that hospital. They just go along with it. And the further mistreatment of my family has continued because of Franklin County. But it doesn't stop there. It continues to get worse. This woman continued to interrogate me without a lawyer present, without any just cause. And it just continues to get worse. From here, I'm going to go ahead and stop showing any more clips, and we're just going to talk for a minute. Through this case, basically, this woman thought it was perfectly. She cussed at me some more. I didn't get to get that on camera. And at one point, I told her, "I've been nothing but nice to you, and you've been nothing but rude to me. I grew up with manners. At least show me, you came into my home and you were very rude to me, and where I come from, you just don't do that." So not only is this woman putting me in a double jeopardy situation, not only is she discriminating against people who were in recovery, but she's also basically thinking it's perfectly okay to go into people's homes and talk down to them. I should have threw her out, but I played it cool, trying to keep the peace, And I'm just, yeah, we're at that stage where this is not going to be tolerated. Unfortunately, I put it in a little clip, but the police officers in here, you really can't see very well. But the one officer behind me, he kept it. He knew the camera was trained on me, and he was standing there behind me, so you don't really get his reaction super well. But the other ones were just sitting there shaking their head like this is bogus. Um, she basically had me walk through the apartment, and the apartment is clean. It's not in perfect shape. It's home. But, she walked through the apartment. She continued to run me down. The apartment is fine. It's livable. I've got all the, picked up all the needs for the baby and everything else. And basically, they decided to keep my son, whether or not they had just cause. Under the Fifth Amendment, it basically says you cannot be tried or continue to be, convicted of a crime over and over again, and that's exactly what they're doing. We left Washington because of the corrupt system up there. The detective in question who started this whole mess, Detective Steve Sykes, which we'll get to him later. But this guy, but just before I say we'll get to him later, let me say up front that Detective Steve Sykes in Washington, Missouri, is such a great detective. He can't even find a handle on a coffee cup. He's the world's greatest detective in his own mind, and they photoshopped pictures of my son, everything else. Yes, and even my very abusive mother was even involved. I'm wondering, as politely as I can put it, I'll just say it like this: I wonder if she sucked his thumb, if you get what I'm saying. And then, the ordeal with my daughter. I'm wondering how many mothers who breastfeed are really pissed off right now that my wife, who was trying to breastfeed my daughter and had her ripped away from us again, had my family ripped apart again, just when things were starting to look up, and then this ordeal. They had no just cause whatsoever. So not only did she discriminate against mothers who breastfeed, she discriminated against people in recovery, and on top of that, she discriminated again. She basically violated my Fifth Amendment rights of double jeopardy. This woman, I will see her on trial for this. I guarantee it, along with anyone else involved in this case. Yes, I'm talking to you, supervisor of Park Hills branch here in St. Francis County. I will see you on trial for this. After we walked away from the camera and everything, let me say right now that the Bonne Terre City Police Department, they don't necessarily agree with my law, with the research that I did on the derelict vehicles, but I even told them that I went online, and they're totally cool. They said, well, that's not what it says now. I said, well, that's what's online, and I can print that out and take that into court, and you won't have a leg to stand on. And they're like, yeah, you're right. And they understand. And just for the record, the police chief has actually informed me that him and the rest of the department actually watch my YouTube videos and are very happy. They actually call me a local celebrity because of this. And my friend Joanna, they asked her how they felt, how it felt to be in presence of a local celebrity. She's like, I've known him for years, and this is just the way he is. Even the police chief has even, him and I were talking. He owns a 70 Monte Carlo. I mentioned that in my first video about the Bonne Terre City Police Department, and is even considering doing an interview with me and talking about his 70 Monte Carlo, and that's awesome. So obviously they didn't think I was a threat. The police thought it was stupid, and this woman thinks this is perfectly okay. I don't think so. This is the United States, and you don't get away with doing things like this. So this woman will be on trial. I promise that. And I will run her out of the business of interfering with people's lives like this. This is unconstitutional, and I have already been in the process of organizing a rally to get media attention to this. Um, I will not stop here. I want my family reunited, and I want my children home. Um, especially my newborn baby son. Um, my poor wife has been doing her very, very best to hold it together, and she's had a few breakdowns. And the gods know that I don't blame her one little bitty bit. We've had a lot of good friends supporting us through this whole ordeal, but unfortunately, right now, I'm actually getting ready to sell some things just to get the money together to fight this. I'm actually getting ready to sell some rare coins, and even willing to go to the next level and sell an autographed hockey card, a Brett Hall autographed hockey card, autographed by the man himself, just to make this a feasible thing. Should I have to do this? No. But will I do it to reunite my family? Yes. That's what this is about. I'm not always the best father, but at least I damn well try. That's where we're at in this. Um, there's a few things that I'm going to ask all of you to do right now, and that is number one, if you think that this is wrong, then I ask that you write your congressman, send some letters to their department, to family services, help get involved. We need to contact our media. We need to get involved. Um, we need to stop this now. And, every police officer involved in this case thought it was BS. They don't think that they have the right, but obviously these people think it's perfectly okay to mistreat people. And this is, like I said, this is the United States. We don't live in a communist society. We live in a democracy, and you're just not allowed to do this. So that's where we're at in all of this. I'm going to stop the video for a moment. I'm going to get some information, and I'm going to put some names up, some phone numbers, and we're going to start getting this ball rolling. YouTube Society, I need your help. I need you to get involved. So let's stop my narration for just a second. And there it is, folks. That's what I was waiting for. To put up the number of this very evil woman. This is who you need to call. This is what you need to do. We need to stand up against people like this in our community who want to steal our children and ruin our lives. And now that you have the number, you know who to call. That's where we stand on all of this. Like I said, this is a direct violation. And the moment we start letting people, we let officials like this get away with this, the sooner we start condoning communism in our country. So, yes, I'm asking all who are willing to stand up and fight. And obviously, within the boundaries of the law. We live in a different age. You can't just go around cleaning up the streets with a shotgun. Even though sometimes, unfortunately, that's almost what we need to do anymore. But I'm not condoning that sort of behavior. I won't condone that behavior. We can do it civilly, if that's a word. Is that a word? Hell, I don't know. We can do this with, peacefully, and that's exactly what we're going to do. And we can see people like this put behind bars. Just for the record, again, the police chief here in Bonne Terre. He's actually a fan of this channel. I believe he's actually a subscriber. So thank you, Chief, for for your support. He was even kind enough to even give me a suggestion saying that I should get involved in radio. So I actually went over to B104 and put in my application about possibly becoming a radio personality. So hopefully they decide to pick me up and I can get away from the job that I do. Um, and again, we did have one major victory in all of this. I found out today that Officer 309 got the heck out of Dodge. He went and found a different job elsewhere. So Bonne Terre is starting to clean up its act, and it's about time because a lot of people are tired of it. But we've got more hurdles to get over to have a clean society, and unfortunately, we have to clean up the system that we put in place to protect us. Um, you know, and basically you get to see the horrors of on my channel of people thinking it's perfectly okay to mistreat people. It's not, you know. This technically, the way she talked to me and everything, and doing it in my own home, shoot, I wouldn't even, and the fact that I even have post-traumatic stress disorder from an abusive mother. Thank you, Family Services, for protecting me. Um, because of this, she even, basically, you know, asserting her authority, she was kind of taking advantage of someone who has post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's, yeah. She violated several laws, and this communist is not going to get away with it. Um, that's where we stand on all of this. Regardless of the situation, regardless of what they want to say I did or didn't do, um, at day's end, I want to leave you all with this final thought. And it was a thought that the chief really appreciated. And I say it for him because I believe him and I are starting to get a little closer and on good terms. And I'm very grateful for that. And I say this to all of you. And for the first time ever, I will not be saying it to Children's Division. I'm excluding them in this when I say my line that I love to say on my channel, and that is, if nobody has told you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you, and have a happy 24. Thank you.